job profitability analysis, because I know it's very difficult. So it's harder than you think, but it's quite effective if you do it right. And I don't think anybody's doing it very well yet. There's a few of you doing it better than you were, but it turns out it's quite hard, right? You need a lot of stuff in place for us to go, yep, we've got this all going on. You need to understand how your pricing or your estimating translates into action when delivering the work. You need to understand how that works, however your pricing is, whether it's pre-builds or unit rates or whatever. You need to understand what that means in terms of who's doing what, right? You need to be able to accurately measure the data, particularly labor. You need systems so this data is accessible to you, which might be a job management system and might be something else. You need to be able to extract it from your system in a meaningful way, and you need to work out what it tells you. And there's probably one more, which is what I want from you, is for you to compare it on lots of jobs, so you get kind of a macro view as well. You get to look at the things that are always going wrong in the same way, which tells you what you need to change. And of course, you need to update things like your prices and your labor rates when they change, which seems to be quite often for everybody. Right? They're not a static, consistent thing, although they change all the time. So the objective for this, right, is to help you make more money. Are you making as much as you should be? And if you're not, let's fix it. So my goal today, I think, is to help you get a better understanding of how profitable your jobs are, to see if you're making as much money as you should be, and to try and fix it if you're not. We'll try to include your understanding of the profitability of the different types of job. And I know Ben will be nodding at me now. I can't see him, but Ben will be nodding because I've been banging on about that with him for a little while. You know, you've probably got multiple different types of job that you do, some of which might be more or less profitable than other ones. That's important to understand as well. Most of you have that. Most of you have different types of job. Most of them are differently profitable. Quite a lot of you have different types of job that you price up in the same way, and you might not know that one of them should be priced differently. So I want to get to the bottom of that kind of thing, you know, and I want you to find out where the holes are and fix them. Most of you should probably consider focusing on getting more of the good jobs and saying no more to the shittier ones, the ones that are less profitable. And that's harder to do if you're not confident that they're good and not good. So this is about your confidence as well, and being able to know which jobs to take on and which jobs not. Because I know what you tend to do. You tend to take them all on, don't you? Regardless, you tend to get the inquiries and do the quote. And if the person says yes, you do the job. Right? That's a fairly natural thing to do. But actually, as you're moving into this different stage of your business, it's probably important to know which ones you want and which ones you don't want, because your capacity is not unlimited. It'd be nicer to do more profitable jobs and fewer of the shitty ones that don't make much money, wouldn't it? And there are some people who find themselves quite stuck in that, right? Quick is better if it's costing you money, right? As you saw from Mike's story, that was probably a 4 or 5 month process from go to woe. So it might take a little while. So when it's big and complicated, it's big and complicated. There's no shortcuts there. But before we get into the exercises, let's do the triangle and the virtuous cycle.